Top of page Yutes, another Maimer from Shabbos Parshas Boloch Yudal Tamas Tovshin Lamed Gimel. It's a continuation, it's a hemshech of the previous Maimer, as we'll see. The beginning of this Maimer is in a way very technical, as you will see. It gets into very, I don't know how to describe it. You'll see it's a very medaic on different types of details. Not something that we're used to in regular Mamar Chassidus, because he's really quoting something from the Mezritcher Maggid. So let's learn inside. Dorach Kochem Mi'Yaakov v'kam shevet Yisrael, that a star will shoot out from Yaakov, and will arise a staff, meaning a leader from Yisrael. Mitzayin Tzemach Tzedek, L'Pirish Rav Maggid, and the Tzemach Tzedek points out to the explanation of the Mezritcher Maggid. Shashone Yishnas Masayim Listalkusei, Tovshin Lamed Gimel, 1973, was 200 years since the Mezritcher Maggid passed away in 1773, Tov Kuf Lamed Gimel. So some Tzedek brings down Ba'ira Torah pasuk Zeh, and Ba'ira Torah brings on this pasuk V'zel L'Shoyne, and this is a quote, direct quote from the Mezritcher Maggid. Dorach Kochem Mi'Yaakov, that a Kochem will come out, shoot out from Yaakov. It's brought down, Ein Mazel Yisrael. There's no Mazel for Yidden. And now the Rebbe inserts, with these brackets, these are insertions of explanations to what the Mezritcher Maggid is saying in short. Seemingly the intention is of this idea. Why is he introducing the Ein Mazel Yisrael? So the question that's inherent in the statement is, since there's no mazel for the Yidden, we need to understand how is it possible to say that a star shoots out of Yaakov. The idea of a star has to do with the mazolos. The mazolos and the constellations has to do with the stars and the movement of the stars. So why would the pasuk say that a star shoots out from Yisrael? So then he brings a different Amar Chazal that shows that there is an idea of has to do with a mazel. The Isa has brought down Hakol told him mazel. Everything is dependent upon mazel. I feel a Sefer Torah Shabbat, even a Sefer Torah that's in the chamber also is dependent upon the mazel. What's going to happen with it? So we have this contradiction we're trying to address about: do Yidden have a mazel? Do we not have a mazel? So he says, the idea behind this is, surely the level of ayin, she chachma, the level of ayin, which is chachma, he mazel Yisrael, is the level of mazel to the Yidden. So when it says, ein mazel Yisrael, it doesn't mean that we do not have a mazel, it means that the ayin, the ayin is a mazel for the Yidden. And he explains, what is the level of ayin? Ayin is the level of chachma. Like it says, ha-chachma me ayin timotzei. Chachma is the level of ayin. It comes from ayin. It is ayin. Bin is likened to yesh. Chachma, because it's very fleeting, it just shoots into the mind. That's called ayin. And the level of chachma becomes the ayin for the mazel for Yisrael. That's what it means. Ein mazel Yisrael. Mean it ayin is the mazel for Yisrael. He explained what the ayin is. Now he's going to explain the meaning of mazel. Line 11, V'Meloshin Yizals, from the expression flowing. By the way, it's not a Rosh Hashanah, it's not Yizal here in the ayin. A lot of times he will use the quotation marks in the middle of the word for emphasis, for something, as if writing something italicized. It's not a Rosh Hashanah. Yizal means pouring. So again, he brings in the commentary and the explanation, in Moshe Kosov, like it says. In other words, it's not the words of the Mezritcher Maggid. This is the explanation of the words of the Mezritcher Maggid. Moshe Kosov, like it says, "V'noizlim in Levanon," that in Levanon it will flow down from Levanon. So that's what it says, that the Chachma, which is the ayin, is a mazel, is the flow for the yin. It goes on further. V'hu ta'amim. These are what's called the taimei hamikra. In other words, the cantillation signs that are on top of the letters. So he says, Shehem Kisrei Atvan. These are considered the crowns upon the letters, just like when you write out, let's say in a Chumash, the cantillation signs, so they're on top of the letters, like the crown is on top of the head. Vehu Yud Shekoy ala Chachma. What is this level of the ayin? That's a level of Yud that goes on Chachma. Ukishihi ala Tvan Nikra Revi Batayim. When the letter Yud is on top of the letters of other letters of the Aleph base, Yud is indicated as being just a point. So when you have just a point of a Yud, a dot, a period on top of the letters, it's the cantillation symbol known as Revi. That's what it is. The Yud on top of the letters is the Revi of the cantillation. And we know Shekoy ala Keser, again, the commentary that's brought in over here on the words of the Eretz Torah, we know it's referring to Keser. Like it's explained in many places, being in Tanta. This is a Rosh Tevis. Tanta stands for Taimim, Nekudus, Tagim, Oisius. There's the cantillation marks, there's the vowel signs, there's the crowns on top of the letters. When you write a letter on, Sefer Torah and film and mezuzahs, they have certain crowns on the letters. Then you have the letters itself. And these four components that make up the letters in the Torah are four different levels, corresponding to different spheres. And he says that the level of the taimim, hu she'inyan ha-taimim hu ba-keser, the level of cantillations is in the level of keser. That's where the Yud, where it's on top of the letters, that's considered the Keser of the Atvan, it's called the crowns upon the letters, that is the Sphira, or that is the level of Keser. So it goes on further in line 17. V'zeu u'mispar esroi v'Yisrael. So now he's going to bring it back to the pasuk of the previous mimer, that the number of the Roi v'Yisrael. So he said like this: Umispar hu lashon sapir ubeir. Mispar is from the word a luminous sapphire stone that it illuminates. Es umispar es Roi v'Yisrael es hem oisis aleph atov. The word es in the phrase umispar es Roi v'Yisrael, it's referring to the letters from aleph to tov. Es mishtayim oisat Torah, the 22 letters in that make up the Torah. Zeu umispar es Roi v'Yisrael, umispar es aleph through tov shu oisis. Those are the letters top of page Chav. Mi hu amasapram umeiram. Who is the one that makes them shine and luminous? Roiva, the level of Roiva shu tam revi. It's the cantillation of the revi, that yud that is on top of the letters, the level of the revi sign. But mispar es Roiva. But who does that? Avakol nasai de Yisrael. This all occurs through Yisrael. Now he's going to bring this back to the pasuk that he started asking about, Dorach Koichav Mi'Yankov, that Mezritcher Magid had his question. V'zeu Dorach Koichav Mi'Yankov, Koichav Lashon Mazel. That's why it says a star will shoot out of Yankov. Koichav means an expression of the Mazel. Upirush Dorach Koichav Mi'Yankov, Dorach Moshe Namshacha. What does it mean that the star will shoot out from Yankov? Darach, from the word that it's shacha, that it's coming down, it's being drawn down, the star. This mazel that we were speaking about before, kishu doirech limshoich, when it shoots out to come to be brought down, hakoilhum Yankov, it is all from Yaakov. Pirush machmas Yisrael b'shvilom. Because of the Eden and for their sake, just like we said, mispar es Roi v'Yisrael, that how are the 22 letters of the Torah illuminated? How does that happen? That happens from the Roiva that's higher than the letters, but who causes it? It's Yisrael. The same thing, Dorach Koichav is me Yaakov. That Yaakov is the one that causes that the Hamshachah should come down from this level of Mazel, the level of Chachma, the level of Keser, and so on. So he says in line 6, Yisrael. Why did he mention over here Yaakov by the Dorach Koichav, that Yaakov is the one that causes this Hamshacha from the Mazel? And why didn't he mention Yisrael? Who b'shvil sheyesh by Yud shloisha koitzin shem roish toich b'saf. The Yud is made up of 3 points. What it means is there's the top point on the top of the Yud, there's the bottom point on the bottom of the Yud, and there's the Yud itself, the actual body of the Yud. Ha'elyon kutzit shel Yud, the top point, which is the point of the Yud, Nikra Yisrael, is called Yisrael. Yisrael is the level of Lirosh to Miahed. Hamtzai, the middle point, again, the brackets, it's the explanation of the Rebbe, L'shain, Etzem HaYud, Shu'ab HaMshacha, the very essence of the Yud, which is what comes down, Nikra Yeshurun. One of the names for Klal Yisrael is also Yeshurun. What's the meaning of Yeshurun? L'shain Shura, from the expression of a row, Shuloshin Hamshacha, that it also means being drawn down. V'atachta Nikra Yaakov, and the lowest point in the Yud, that is a level of Yaakov, Okev Yud, the heel of the letter Yud. So instead of the Yud coming into the heel, it's the heel of the Yud, because there's a center part of Yud, there's a top part of Yud, and the bottom part of Yud is the heel of the Yud. So then he goes on and says, everything that's drawn down has to be, in the idea of what Kabbalah explains, it reaches and then like it doesn't reach. In other words, it comes down and withdraws. It comes down and withdraws. It cannot just come down as it is. If it would just arrive, if it would just come down, so the receiver would not be able to accept it and receive it. Therefore, it has to be after it comes down, after it reaches and touches, it has to be pulling back. Like an eagle that is hovering over its nest. Like the Chazal explained that the eagle doesn't want to overwhelm its young, the eaglets, and therefore it touches but it doesn't touch. The same thing, the mati v'loy mati means it reaches and then like pulls back, reaches and pulls back. It comes down, but then it has to depart to a higher level. And to draw down only a little bit according to the capability of the receiver. Therefore, here, by Dorach, that's from the expression of being drawn down, Zachar Mi'Yaakov. He specifically uses the term Yaakov, not Yisrael. Loshen Okev. He specifically used the word that pertains to the heel. Only according to the capability of the receivers. And then afterwards the pasuk says, after Dorach Kochavim Mi'Yaakov, that the star will shoot out from Yaakov. What does he say afterwards? V'kam shevet miYisrael, that the shevet will arise. Well, the shoin Moishel, it's the expression of a ruler. Who tzaddik Moishel b'yiras Elokim. It's the tzaddik that he rules with his fear of Hashem. V'gam zeh yeh miYisrael pirish machmasan, and also this comes out from Yisrael, just like we said, Dorach Kochavim Mi'Yaakov. Why does the star come down? That's thanks to Yaakov. The same thing. The reason why it comes, the level of the Kam Shevet, it's also because of Yisrael. Ad Kan L'Shoin Ha'Orah Torah, up till here, is the language of the Orah Torah. This is all quoting from the Mizricher Maggid. Now the Tzemach Tzedek adds to his quote from the Mizricher Maggid, Moisav Tzemach Tzedek Mitzayin, line 24, the Tzemach Tzedek adds and points, and he points out also Gam L'Kedushas Levi, also to the Sefer Kedushas Levi, L'Rav Tzadik, L'Rav Yitzchak Barditchev, of the authored by the Rav Yitzchak Barditchever. Shemavar HaKosov Dorach Kochavim Mi'Yaakov, top of page Chof Aleph, that explains the pasuk that a star will shoot out from Yaakov. Shekochav hu chavav chav beis. The word kochav is a combination of the letters chavav and chav beis. Chavav hu agematri the Shem Havaya. Chavav is the numerical equivalent of Shem Yud 26. The chav beis hu mispar ha'oisius, and 22 is the letters of the Aleph beis. Hainu sha'idei ha'eser b'shtayim oisius. Through the 22 letters of the Aleph beis, which the Yidden use in their Torah study, Oisim Yisrael Rishim Kiviyach Baboid Baruch Hu Chavav Lashpia Lem Kirtzoinam. So the Yidden make a Rishima, they make an impression on the Eibishter Chavav, the Chav Beis letters, the 22 letters make an impression on Hashem, the number Chavav, to influence and to bring down upon them Kirtzoinam according to their will, what they need. Okay, up till now is what the Rebbe quoted from Samach Tzedek, from Mizritcher Magid. Now the Rebbe is going to connect us back to what we learned in our previous minor. Oizbeis. Hinei Inyan Zebah Behemshech Mashin is Borle El Pirish Akosav Mimman Afar Yaakov Mispers from the Rebbe Yisrael. This comes as a continuation of what was explained previously in the explanation of the Pasuk, who can count the dust and earth of Yaakov and the number of the seed of Yisrael. Yaakov Yisrael, in the explanation of the difference between Yaakov and Yisrael. We can add to this according to what's explained in Oira Torah and Sefer Shmois of the Tzemach Tzedek. That recently was published in the days of Bezid Gimel Tammuz of Tafshir Lamed Gimel. Our Pasuk Elish Mois Beisrael Boy Mitzrayim. These are the names of Beisrael that are arriving in Mitzrayim. Eis Yankov, his children, and so on. Shevavar Shama Hefresh Bein Yisrael Yankov. Over there in that mimer of the Oira Torah, the Tzemach Tzedek, he explains the difference between the names Yisrael and Yankov. She Yankov Nikra Chatzi Parts of Atachten Dezer Ampin. Yaakov is the lower half of the face of the midas, ma'chazo lamata, from the chest and below. Yisrael nikra machza elim the zeir ampin, and Yisrael is called the higher half of zeir ampin, ma'chazo lamayla, from the chest and above. In other words, Yisrael is the level of the midas chesed gvura tiferes, and Yaakov is below that. And that's a chayd yisoid malchus. Maybe Shom the Tzemach Tzedek brings over there she'ada chaza nikra eitzachai, going from top down, from the spheres until you reach the chest. In other words, until and including Chesed Gvura Tiferes, that is called Eitz HaChaim, the tree of life. From the chest and down below, meaning those lower spheres, that lower half, the level having to do with Yankov, is called the tree of knowledge, good and bad. According to this is added an explanation of what was explained previously. Shavidas and Shal Yankiv, Shal Mirma, that avoid of Yankiv is in the way of trickery. What's the need for the trickery? Because the sin of the Eitzadas was through trickery. As we mentioned earlier, how did the Nachash convince Adam? He tricked him. Like it says that the Nachash was clever and shrewd. Therefore, how do we fix this up? Also through the idea of trickery. All this is applicable only in the level of Yaakov, from the chest down below. Shenikra Eitz Hadas Toivara, top of page Kov Beis. In the level of the chest, where there's the level of Eitz Hadas Toivara and lower, Shesham Negev Shaykhin Naches. Over there, it reaches and it's applicable the idea of an Avera. That occurs through the trickery of the snake. Therefore, how do we fix it up? Through the idea of trickery in Kedusha, like we spoke about, that a person is involved in Gashmias, and that involvement in Gashmias he uses afterwards for Kedusha. And therefore, it's specifically Yaakov that indicates trickery and Akev and Bachika B'mirma, and that's why he's called Yaakov, because it's trickery. Mashenkim Madregs Yisrael, as opposed to the level of Yisrael, Me'achozo L'mayla, from the chest and higher, Shenikra Eitz HaChaim, it's called the tree of life. Shesham Lo Naga Inyan Achet, over there, the idea of sin did not reach and did not touch. Like it said in the Pasuk, Lo Yira Amal B'Yisrael, he did not see anything negative and wickedness and so on by Yisrael, because Yisrael is the level beyond the Chet of the Eitz Hadas, it's the Eitz HaChaim, and that's what it is. So now he explains in line 7 of Lahoyim to note, Shebei Oira Torah Niskal El, the above mentioned Oira Torah, Mevur Achilot Ben Yaakov Yisrael Ba'ofen Naila Yoser Ma Mevur B'Shar Mekaymes. It's explained the difference between Yaakov and Yisrael in a higher way than what's explained in other places. In general, it's explained Yaakov Yisrael Shneim B'Zeir Ampin. The Yaakov Yisrael are both in the level of the Midas. Al Yisrael Uchatzia Aliyah the Zeir Ampin. The Hainu Ches the Gvura with the Feres. Yaakov Chatzia Atak the Zeir Ampin. Then Netzachot V'Yisai. Then in general, it's explained that Yaakov Yisrael is the higher level. Ches the Gvura the Feres. Yaakov is the lower level of Zeir Ampin, which is Netzachot V'Yisai. Aval ba'oir ha'toira niskar le'el, the above mentioned oir ha'toira mevor achiluk ben name kvishem loy bezeir ampin atzmo. It's explained the difference between them, not the way they are in zeir ampin itself, al b'seichel shebamidas, in the intellect that's to be found in the midas. Sheyankiv u'in shalom hamoichin shalom midas amizgalim chazol u'matar. Yaakov is the level of the intellect of the emotions, the way it comes down all the way from the chest and lower into netzach chod yisod. Yisrael is the way the midas are included in the essence of the intellect. Essentially, it's of a higher level, the Yisrael and Yaakov, the way it's explained in other places.